I said it a couple weeks ago, like you're right there, and people thought I was nuts, but it's starting to look like I might be a little bit smarter than I thought. So, but again, he's not going to do it.
Is he not going to do it? Is he not going to do it because he doesn't feel Sanchez gives him a better chance? Is he not going to do it because he's invested too much into Bradford? Why would he not make this move? If does he not owe it to the team that's playing very good defense right now to play the best guy?
He certainly does, but I think Chip to bench Bradford would require him to admit he made a mistake by trading for him. I mean, he fancies himself as this guru, innovator, genius, if you will, and he thought that Bradford was like the perfect fit for his offense. Turns out that's not the case, but I don't think he's willing to admit that he made a mistake by doing what he did. So I think he's just going to ride with Bradford the rest of the way. I think it's a mistake. I mean, everybody's talking about how Sanchez threw interceptions last year, and there's no getting around it. He did, and he has a reputation for that. But it's not just the interceptions that Bradford's throwing. It's like the passes that are like 20 yards away from a receiver. I just don't. So it's borderline embarrassing.
What do you make of Kelly's he's kind of trying to say, well, we're miscommunicating. They're not on the same. It almost seems like he's trying to cover up for Bradford.
Yeah, and I got that like in the beginning of the season. If you want to say that he's been off for 2 years, he's new to the system. This is week 7 now, and if you don't have the chemistry with your receivers by now, then there's something wrong. That should have been done like in August, or maybe even like the first or second week of the season. I'll forgive you if you're not on the same page with those guys, but not now. I mean, now's the time where you should be in sync with the rest of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, the throw to obviously Sproles, it looked like they were off there. The one to Cooper, I mean, that one obviously, and he's had a couple with Cooper where those two seem like they're just not on the same page so far. Do you think that a lot of people still wondering if he's over the injury, if he still has those mental ghosts, kind of around his feet. Do you think he's just still mentally not there?
To be honest with you, I don't know what the problem is with Sam. But for whatever reason, the continuity, the connection with the rest of the offense just isn't there. I don't know if he's still has some doubts about his ability to come back from this, or if he's fearful of getting hurt again, or to be honest with you, I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong there, and it has to be fixed. I mean, I think the defense and the special teams are good enough, and the rest of the division is bad enough. Well, I think they'll win the NFC East regardless. But if they expect to make like a playoff run, it's not going to happen if Bradford's the quarterback. I just don't think, unless he makes a drastic improvement.
Are they getting better in all the other areas where they were struggling? Offensive line, running the football. I mean, realistically, is it coming down? I mean, even on defense, they had some issues early with the defense. They seem like they've gotten better. Have they gotten and made improvements and made adjustments in all the other areas except for the quarterback?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the offensive line's coming off of 2 pretty good games. DeMarco Murray ran for over 100 yards for the first time. It seems like they've worked out those issues a little bit. And the defense has been really impressive the last 2 weeks, I think. And aside from that first series against the Giants, they've been pretty much dominant. And special teams are always going to make a play or two. I wouldn't be surprised if Sproles returns one this week against Carolina, because they've already given up one for a touchdown. But so it's like everything is working except the thing that you need the most. And without a quarterback, you just can't realistically expect to make the run that you wanted to make. I mean, Chip went into this season saying 10-6 isn't good enough. Winning the NFC East isn't good enough. If we don't make a playoff run, then it's a failure. Well, they're on that track if they don't find that answer at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look. I think a lot of us understood why they made the trade for Bradford, because they thought 10-6 was not good enough. So I'm not going to blast them for making the deal. I don't have any problem with them making the deal, but I would have a problem if he kept playing him only because he made the trade for him, if he thinks that Sanchez is a better option.
Right, and I don't see how he couldn't be. I mean, Granted, he didn't play too well down the stretch last year, but he's had a full year in the system. He's got to be more comfortable with everything than Bradford was. I mean, Bradford's been there a couple months, and Sanchez has been there over a year now. And I think he had a pretty good training camp, too, in the preseason, from what I could remember. I mean, he wasn't playing with the starters the whole time, but it seemed like he kind of knew what he was doing and seemed more confident and comfortable, and even he said so. So I just thought, what's the downside of giving Sanchez a chance? He can't play anywhere.
Well, if you go to Sanchez, have you shot Bradford and you go back to, let's say Sanchez comes in, doesn't play very well. All right, Sam, you sat and watched for a couple of weeks. You know, let's see if you feel more comfortable. Or do you think if you sit him, he's done?
It's going to be real hard to go back to Bradford, I think, once you make that move. If his psyche is as fragile as you think it is, you can't realistically expect him to come back from this if he's going to be on the bench. But I think Mo's got to go by a week-by-week thing. I think Sanchez should be able to win you the next – I think they're going to lose to Carolina, but realistically, 4 after that. Or 3 or 4 after that.
They play, they have the bye. They play Dallas, Miami, Tampa Bay, Detroit. That's their next 5.
Right. That should be wins. They should be wins. So I don't think you can go back to Bradford at that. If they get to like 7-4, 8-4, then I think Sanchez is going to have to be your guy at that point.
Dave, you got to watch what you say about Dallas fans today. They're very sensitive today. Very sensitive.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me ask you this. You were around Foles last year. Romo's got the same injury. When do you think Romo will play?
Well, Foles didn't.
Well, he ran out of weeks. He got hurt in like the 8th week, right? Was it the 7th or 8th week?
He missed 8 games, right? He missed the last 8.
Right. So and was he?
How many has Bradford lost missed so far?
Romo lost. He got hurt in the Eagles game. So when was that? Week 2. So he missed New York, Washington, New Orleans. So he's missed 1, 2. He's missed 3.
Okay, so I guess pencil in for 5 more weeks then.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's due to now. He's on the injured list. He can't come off until at least week 11, which is the week before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the earliest.
And at that point, I don't know. Maybe if Dallas still thinks they have a shot, maybe you bring them back. But if not, then what's the point? If you're 2 and whatever. I mean, 2-9, 2-10. Maybe just let him.
I'm feeling that you don't have a lot of faith in Matt Castle.
No. He's better than Brandon Wheaton. But
let me ask you then. They got Hardy. They've got their defense. Is better, I guess. I mean, can their defense do for them what Philadelphia is doing for them? Can their defense keep them in the race?
I don't think it's a decent defense, but I don't think so. I mean, they might. I mean, like the rest of the NFC, like you said the other day. Aside from like the Atlanta-Carolina race, like the first wild card is kind of like sold up. But I mean, everybody and their brothers are the second wild card. So, I guess it's realistic to think that Dallas might be able to hang around and maybe earn that. But I don't see it happening, to be honest with you.
All right, Dave Weinberg, press of
Sorry, guys. Sorry, Cowboys fans.
They are very, very touchy-feely today. There's a lot of them out there too. I mean. They're very. Dave Weinberg from the Press of Atlantic City. Read his piece and why he thinks it's time Chip Kelly steps and makes a change at the quarterback position. And the Eagles first place. They'll take the Carolina Panthers Sunday night. You can hear the game right here on 97.3. All right, Dave. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.